What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Collider Media Studio at the Cinema Center at South by Southwest 2025. I'm sitting with the team behind Descendent. Congratulations on your movie.
Thank you.
Quite excited to dig into it.
Thank you.
Clearly, I know what it is, but because it's a film festival debut, our audience is not going to know just yet. You know the question I'm giving you. Would you mind giving a brief synopsis to catch everyone up?
Sure. The movie is about the anxiety of becoming a father, becoming a parent, and it is wrapped in an alien abduction story.
Ooh, you were ready, and that was like short and sweet, very effective and accurate.
I'm a rambler, so thank you.
Like you wrote the movie. Who would have thought? Many questions. This is one of my favorite writing questions to ask, especially with such an interesting scenario like this. When you first sat down to write this, what was idea number one? The thing that started it all, but then also I want to know if you had a break story moment along the way, something you came up with that made it feel whole.
So I started writing in March of 2020, right when the world shut down. Yes. And I was in a dark place, and that's reflected in the movie. But I've always wanted to do some sort of alien abduction story. But Take Shelter was always a big influence of mine and inspiration. And I knew I wanted to do something small. I knew I wanted to do it with the Rustic guys. And so I had to keep the budget small. So I started with that. And then all of the elements of anxiety and depression and dealing with everything that was going on in the world seeped into it. And I'm a father, I'm a parent of two. And so it just sort of naturally evolved. And as far as a breakthrough moment, you know, I don't know if there was like one specific moment. It was just everything going on in the world that all kind of coalesced, and it just all came together. And it made sense to have, you know, the uncertainty of parenthood and then the uncertainty of what's out there.
I remember when you were writing this, because we were helping along the way, and like he was sending us outlines and first drafts. Every single bit of it was great, and there was no breakthrough because it was just all brilliant from the jump. And we've wanted to do something with Pete for years. Obviously, we have a long history with him, but it was phenomenal.
I'll stick with this grouping, this directing, producing grouping. First, I'll pose this question to you. What is it about the team at Rustic that not only helps you get your movie made, but gets it made in a way that feels true to you as a filmmaker?
I think, you know, my tastes are, I love grounded, you know, comedies or dramas that have an element of weirdness to them. You know, Reservation Dogs is one of my favorite shows. And when the deer lady comes in, I'm like, oh, this is like, I did not expect this, but I love that kind of thing. And it's the same kind of just, there's like, things seem kind of okay and normal, and it's a drama. And then there's always an element of something strange going on. And these guys, this is what they do, you know, and they have made so many of these incredible indie films with that. And so I think that's why, you know, we connected on Resolution so well when I first read it, when Justin Benson sent me the script, and I was like, yes, I have serious existential dread. Let's do this. You know,
it's one of my favorite films.
So good. I mean,
I've been to the cabin, the Resolution cabin. And
you wear that as a badge of honor, and I like that.
I stayed there and watched Resolution in the Resolution cabin.
Oh my God.
I mean, honestly, if I was ever pitched that opportunity, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Honestly, you can. We'll make it happen.
Goals.
Yeah. No, we'll make it happen. It's not even. No.
It's easy.
I will.
I know. No. This is like I'm gonna text. I'm gonna text him when we finish this interview.
Okay, deal. I'm very into this idea.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make the two of you now give Peter some flowers back. And actually, I'll make this a little more general, because I also just wanted to say the title Touch Me here, because we covered that at Sundance, and I think it deserves a great home, and I want to speak that into existence. But you work with so many filmmakers that I love, with like really unique minds and people who have the skill set, who know how to execute those ideas that they come up with. So I guess, do you see a shared quality in all of the directors you work with that signal to you like you will pair well with them? But then can you also maybe tell me something about Peter that makes him one of a kind?
Sure. I mean, in general, people ask us, like, I get the question all the time, like, what are you all looking for? And that's a hard one to answer. And I'm like, what I'm looking for is a voice. Like, it's what we're always looking for. It's like, in general, if anyone else can direct a movie, to be honest, it's not something that is probably going to interest us. It has to be like, Peter's the only one that could have directed this. Addison's the only one that could have directed Touch Me. And that is the reason that I'm drawn to it originally. And we have a rule at Rustic that if myself, Justin, and Aaron don't like a script. If any of the three of us don't like a movie, we don't do it. So all three of us have to love something to do it. And I think that's been it's gone a long way in kind of like solidifying what exactly our taste is and who the filmmakers are that we like working with. And I if I'm going to be honest, I wish there was more opportunity, because there's a bunch that we haven't been able to do that are phenomenal filmmakers. And a lot of this year was, hey, look, we can do stuff. Justin and Aaron are phenomenal directors, phenomenal. But we're also phenomenal producers of other directors as well. And getting people their chance to tell their story has been a real push of the last year. And I'll let Caleb talk from the Highland side, because...
Well, I mean, so I've been friends with Dave and Justin and Aaron for a really long time, and we've been trying to find something to do together for years now. And I guess it was like fall 2021, right, Pete? Fall 2021 when Dave first sent me the script, and I just immediately fell in love with it. And I was like, this needs to get made. Like, this is an incredible voice. Pete as a filmmaker, like, truly is one of a kind. He's able to tap in. He's great with actors. I mean, like, from a technical perspective, he had this thing like shot listed down to the T. Like, it's beautifully shot by our DP Alex Shinichi. And I was so honored to have an opportunity to collaborate with all these people, you know, and everybody, the casting crew. It just blew me away. It took us a really long time to get this thing off the ground, and like we had a couple of false starts, but like the crew held on for like a full year. When we were like almost getting ready to go, the whole crew stayed on and like got this thing into production last year, and here we are.
Yeah. This movie died before the strike.
Yeah.
So this movie got yanked out from under us.
And I almost quit the business.
A month before we were about to shoot.
Yeah.
And when we came back almost exactly a year later, we came back with almost the exact same crew and almost
cast.
the exact same cast.
Yep.
I knew when you were nodding that you've been involved since
No.
the
Oh,
beginning.
no. Sarah, no one else plays Andrea.
Yeah.
I would definitely get behind that. Just to follow up on that, if this hadn't gotten back off the ground, would you have quit the business?
I don't know what else I would do. I seriously, because this is all I want to do. This is all I care about.
It's all you were born to do.
This is what, and I don't know. And so I was in a spin out, because I was like, I don't know. This is, I really just want to make movies. I want to tell stories. I want to connect with people who I don't know. I want to share what's inside of me and see if you have that same thing and you feel the same way. That's why I got into this business in the first place as an actor, as a writer, director. It's just because like it's a shared human experience, and I don't know what I would do if I didn't do that.
I think the same thing about the work I do, and then like I don't know what I would do if I didn't do this.
Right, it's like part of your DNA
And
at
you
some
do it,
point.
and you do it very well.
So
I appreciate that. I love, and I find it to be a great honor to sit in this seat. So I appreciate you saying that. Sarah, I'm going to come your way now. I'm going to give you just like a big old 2-part question.
Gimme.
So when this opportunity comes your way, what single thing about it were you most excited to do? Maybe the thing that kept you involved, even though it stopped and then started again.
Right.
And then the other half of that question is, can you tell me something about making Descendant that wound up being more creatively fulfilling than you ever could have imagined at the start?
Okay, so first and foremost, I love Rustic. I think they make incredible films that push boundaries in a way that no one else does. They have a certain like look to them, a feel to them, a tone to them that I think can only be replicated by the team at Question. And I respect them so much that it was an honor to be part of that family and to be allowed. They have a motto like make movies with friends, and to be part of that friend group meant something more to me than you can imagine. So to be part of this film and this company meant the world to me, and it was a story I wanted to tell, because I feel like Andrea is a person that I haven't come to that point in my life yet, where I'm dealing with bringing a new life into the world, where I'm struggling with an illness that is like debilitating. I haven't come to that part yet, but I know Andrea is someone who, she's not a superhero, but my goodness, that woman do super things, and my goodness, is she powerful, and my goodness, does she show up. And I aspire to be more like Andrea. And to speak to the like fulfillment, myself and Pete have had so many conversations, be it on Zoom, be it in person, be it in rehearsal, where I felt the most fulfilled an actor could possibly feel, where I felt heard, I felt wanted, I felt needed, I felt important to the process. I felt like I could say a thing and you would hear me. I could pitch a note and you would be like, let's talk about that. Nothing was off the table. It was so collaborative. I couldn't have had a better experience.
I love those qualities in a filmmaker so much. That makes me so happy.
When she has an idea, you should listen to
They're
it.
fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Sorry, am I allowed to cuss? I don't care. I'm going to.
I feel like as
They're
long as
fucking
we're
brilliant.
a few minutes into the interview, curse away, because then maybe, I think I'm making this up, maybe YouTube won't flag it. I don't know. We'll find out.
All right.
I feel like the funny thing is the last time there was a lot of cursing in one of these interviews was at Sundance for Touch Me. I'm pretty sure there
I'm
was like
shocked.
But no,
there was
to
a
be fair, I
record
wasn't.
amount of F-bombs dropped during that
checks out,
interview.
though.
To be fair, I wasn't in that interview.
No, it was Addison.
Well,
He
yeah, no.
started it.
We do have a type.
I like that type very, very much. Sarah, I'll stick with you for a quick moment because this is a question that I love asking. Because someone recently put in my head that when an actor jumps aboard a new project, you're kind of like on unstable ground. You don't quite know who your character is, but then you do that thing either in prep or on set when you stop and say to yourself, like, I have just found who they are.
Yeah.
Did you have that with your character on this film? And if so, when?
Okay, so there's a scene in our movie, right? That it's infamous within our community of saying like scene 109.
Scene 109.
107.
We're never gonna have a scene 109 at Rustic again. We're retiring
the 13th
scene.
floor.
No, we're retiring scene 109 from the schedule on every film from now on because of how good it is.
It was a scene that made me not only understand the character, understand the movie, but understand me as an actress, like me as a collaborator, me as someone who loves film. There was a scene in this movie that cemented for me the realization of I've been acting since I was 6 years old, right? So I'm not going to do the math, but it was several years, and like 9. And
I hope more than that.
We broke some laws.
Add
Straight-
a few.
straight 9.
You should add a lot more years to that.
No.
Not a lot, just a couple.
Okay, all right, just a handful.
No, YouTube will be fine with it. And and I remember thinking like, this is everything I want to do. I want to be a part of the process. I want to care more than I care about anything else in that week, like that month, that 3 months, that however long the shoot is. There was a scene in this movie that was so important to me that I remember walking on set, not looking at my script that day and knowing exactly what I wanted to do because it was the epitome of her and the epitome of Andrea's role in this film. And to create that and have that and own that was like a dream come true.
We all cried, like literally, like not even like when we shot that. There was like legit tears while we were watching that happen.
And she's being a little bit modest because it's the moment in the movie where her voice really comes through the strongest. And I was rereading it shortly before we were shooting, and I was like, I'm missing something. It's not coming off the way I want it to. Sarah, will you read this and give me notes? And what changes would you make? And she gave me notes, and I rewrote it, and that's when it became the thing because I needed that to come through. Because again, this movie is through the lens of the father, and that's my world. That's what I know. But it doesn't work unless she's represented, her voice is heard, and her strength comes through. And I needed her, to be a part of that.
It's so good. It's one of my favorite performance beats of the whole festival. I mean it sincerely.
That means genuinely the world to me.
Thank
There was
you.
all the effort put in, all the effort in the world.
Something else you should be so proud. You brought up the father perspective, so I'll loop in Ross now because one heck of a lead performance from him. My God. I'll pose it to both of you in maybe a different way because you just mentioned the idea of it kind of being the story being told through his eyes, his lens. Is there anything unique to him as an actor that kind of reshaped what you had in the script? And then also for you, Sarah, can you tell me a little bit about what makes Ross a unique scene partner, maybe someone who helps you crush a tough scene that you couldn't have been able to do without him?
Yeah, I think Ross is incredibly funny. His impressions, if you've seen them, they're on
Yes, I
YouTube.
have.
Yes. So what we discovered in the rehearsal process, and thank God we had a week of rehearsal leading up to it because we discovered all these things, and his character was coming off just a little too dour and brooding, and we needed some levity and some light. And we also needed to see that love, that fun, and we found that in the rehearsal process, and that then allows the audience once the shit hits the fan and everything starts to, he goes into a downward spiral, it's earned. You care about him more because you've seen the lighter side of him. And so that was a big breakthrough in the rehearsal process. And then God, we didn't have to discover it on set because, yeah.
I love when you have stuff like that found in the rehearsal process, and then it kind of like it fills in the gaps for the audience, and you could feel the history between characters even without spelling every little thing out.
Yeah.
I will say, sorry to interrupt. I will say that like that's one of the things that we've found doing our films is like you and Vinny rehearsed for like 6 months for resolution.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So it's like we try to do as much rehearsal as we can because like when you have everybody on set, you have the lights, the camera, that's time, that's money. When it's just people in a room, that's when you get to explore. That's when you really get to play and find things and dig in and be like, oh, cool, this is what we wrote, but is it what we meant?
Yeah.
And then you can really kind of start chiseling away to get like,
it's filling out that shell essentially. Yeah. Which I feel like Pete laid down such an incredible foundation for both Sean and Andrea, and seeing Ross and Sarah bring those characters to life and fill them with flesh and blood, I mean, is truly like a miraculous thing to watch.
Perry, have you ever watched two of your really good friends be so phenomenal at what they do? Actually, three with Pete. Like, it's really like a cool fucking thing to get to watch your friends be really great at what they do.
You know some of my friends.
I do.
I see them soar at what they're doing in this space right now.
And it makes me
it's the best feeling in
it
the
makes me
world.
so happy, and to get to like help that makes me over the moon.
I can't
Go
believe
ahead,
I never knew the Rustic tagline too.
Oh, I got stickers. I'll give you a
Movies
sticker.
with friends. It's genuinely, first of all,
true.
it's
I
something
think that
to
should be
live by.
Every production company's tagline.
No,
Absolutely.
it's
Why do
make
it any
money
other
from artists is I think their tagline.
yeah.
Too often.
Survive and thrive, baby.
But wait, I'll answer your
Yes,
question
yes.
about Ross because
I'm not talking about myself.
no. Ross, so I'd never met Ross before, right? We had text exchanges and we had FaceTime calls, and Ross travels more than any human you've ever met in your life. He is more on a plane than he is on land. And I sat down with him. He came into my kitchen and we sat down for a whole week. Like every single night after rehearsal, we would sit and we would fill in backstory and create loving moments and create history and create first dates and create like how he proposed to me. And I swear to God, never have I like talked to someone where I was like, wait, how long have I known you? Like there was something about him and I when we started talking that was so similar, that was so like oddly simpatico that it almost felt like, oh yeah, this is the thing people talk about when they're like, yeah, it's chemistry on set. Like it just worked so well, and he was able to create history with me in the most beautiful way. He's like a brilliant artist because he's a comedic genius, but also drama like comes out of his pores. So it's just wonderful to act opposite him and create a husband and wife dynamic that's lived far past page 0.
I love that so much. I got to wrap with you soon. And like this whole conversation is making me think of this particular question because I feel like it'll well suit all of you as filmmakers, as a filmmaking family. So I was talking to another director recently, a horror movie director, who heavily emphasized how happy it made him to see his cast and crew have such joy on set while doing the work. Can you each recall the single moment of making Descendant that brought you the most joy as an independent filmmaker?
I will say that there was a moment on set where I walked on set and I had the pregnancy belly on for the first time, and I walked on set and there was this moment where everyone was like, wait. There was like will we sit down? Will we get you a chair? There was just this like loving energy of like a family looking after someone who they were really in character. That I walked on set and wasn't Sarah, but I was Andrea to all the people who know me so well as Sarah, which was just this sort of like mythical switch that happens. And to be supported as a person who can walk off set and make a joke as Sarah and then be on set and with your friends who treat you as Andrea is the craziest experience that is so fulfilling and like joyous and happy and supportive.
I love that answer.
God, I mean, I think it was actually before I got on set, and I remember, I'm going to try it. I was driving to set, and it had been so hard to get this movie made, and it had been through a lot, and and these guys had, called and texted, tell me how proud they were that we were getting able to make this movie. And I remember driving to Santa Monica in the pouring rain. It's the first day of shooting. It was all on the beach and under that pier, and I just I burst into tears just because I was so happy. And then every day we were on set, I just was so appreciative that everybody who showed up, the cast, the crew, came in every day wanting to make this the best that they could, and the attitudes were so positive. We had a lot of fun on set. The movie gets dark, but like it was light, and I felt and it was such a collaborative experience with everybody, and I was just eternally grateful that I actually got to make it.
Beautiful answer as well.
I mean, I think to just kind of, again, bounce off of what Pete's saying, I'm so soft, and it takes
I know, I'm so
nothing
soft
to make me cry, so I'm going to be so fast with this. I will not end up a meme, I swear to God. It's my life goal to not be a meme. Damn it. Okay, no, I'm good. Getting through... No, so bouncing off of what Pete was saying, the weather was horrible for, I don't know, 60% of the shoot. It was just wild LA rain, which is unforgiving and incredibly punishing. But like the energy was always so high just because, I mean, like I was so truly honored to be brought onto this with Rustic, because as a fan of their films and as a fan of Dave and what he does and what he brings to a set, I just wanted to glean off of that and be a sponge. And seeing the way that he runs a set, I'm like, I'll never run a set any other way ever in my life, because everybody like goes 110% because they know that they're making something special, and B, like that the people that are making it happen are truly looking out for their best interests. And I just felt that every day. And that's why it's so hard to pinpoint one moment. Like, I mean, we shot through Valentine's Day, and we shot through rain, and we shot through cold, and we shot through Sarah's birthday. Like there were just so many events, and it was just so beautiful. And I was just like, it's one of the most proud moments of my life, genuinely.
I think mine wasn't one specific moment, but it's like Caleb hasn't gotten to be a producer on a film, and it was really fun to do that with him. Pete hasn't gotten to direct a movie as a feature, and it was really proud. I was really proud of him. Like I became a father right after he finished writing this. My wife was pregnant during the writing of this. In fact, I sent him a bunch of a bunch of the material for like the classes that we went to as like research material while he was developing this. Sarah obviously was acting long before I ever knew her, because I didn't know her as a 6-year-old. But to get to like, I know her as a friend and I love her, and to get to watch her succeed, that's all I ever want. I want my friends to succeed, whether it's with me or with someone else. I love it. I love watching people do what they were put on this earth for. And I got to do that 3 times last year for 3 separate movies. And I almost quit the business. I was like this close to getting out during the strike. And this movie was the one I was like, no, this is what I'm for.
I don't like hearing about potential quitting of the business, especially when like you clearly have so much to bring to it and the people that you work with. So I'm going to say huge congratulations on this movie, and keep doing what you're doing, please.
Thank you.
Try.
Yeah.
No, you don't try, you just do it. Congratulations.
Thank
Have
you.
fun celebrating.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.